Hello, 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 and welcome to a brand new episode of Three Drams. As always, I am your host, Matt Healy from potstill.com, and I am delighted to be here for episode 17, which technically is our 18th episode in the series of Three Drams. I am fantastically excited to be able to sit here with you guys talking about Irish whiskey all over the world. I know there's lots of people joining us. As always, a very, very big thank you to the two brothers and the masterminds and the team behind them at Irish Malt and Three Drams who make this possible. Without them, there'd be no whiskeys to be trying. There'd be no packs sent around the world. As always, we have just shy of 2,000 packs that go out every month around the world to drop Irish whiskey to your door, to your friends' doors, to your aunts, to your uncles, to your grandmothers, whoever it might be. We are absolutely ecstatic to be sharing and spreading the word of Irish whiskey. As always, a very big hello to our friends in the far-flung places around the world. We have, of course, our friends at Yano in Japan, who always get to shout out, watch us tomorrow morning when an appropriate time in Japan to be thinking and drinking about whiskey. We have our friends in Brazil as well. We have a number of people up and down the country in Brazil saying hello every month with us. And of course, we do have a few famous subscribees that I'm contractually not allowed to talk about, but very cool to be able to say hello to you guys too. I am delighted this evening to have a fantastic lineup for you in whiskies. We, of course, have Grace OMalley joining us. We have the fantastic whiskies from Lockery. And then, of course, first from Limavady whiskey as well. There's lots of people joining in the comments section here. I'm seeing a very exotic Donnybrook from Dermot Curry. And, of course, Tina joining us monthly, probably the most consistent watcher subscriber joining us in from Berlin. Interestingly enough, if anyone is in the world and joining whiskey festivals in Nuremberg tomorrow, myself, Dahi O'Connell, and of course, Michael Carr from Pierce Lines will all see you there if anyone happens to be pottering around that German city. We're seeing Anthony coming in from Crumlin in Dublin. We've got Maynooth signing in as well. The very exotic and sunny California. Always a fantastic evening. Of course, no Three Drams would be complete without the Kerry contingent coming in as well. We have Galway, our friends down in Sneem, who watch literally consistently. From the O'Donovan's home turf of Glanmire, we're saying hello from Clare. And of course, back to the kingdom as well, and then up to Lough. Do let us know where you are enjoying Three Drams from this evening. Of course, one of the biggest parts of this program is that you are meeting the makers, flavor creators, and the brand masters behind each of these whiskeys. So this is your chance to talk to them, ask the questions that you're looking to find out. And of course, one of the biggest things is let us know when you have the whiskey in the glass, what your thoughts are on the whiskeys. And at the very end, we will ask you to rank your favorite in first, second, and third. And the great thing about that is they're never the same. There's no consistency. There's never an overall winner. It's fantastic to see subjective flavors of what really hits your palate because everyone's flavor profile is different. And it's fantastic to see what has lit up the palate for you guys. So let us know as we're going on, not only where are you joining us from, not only what are you enjoying, but what are your favorites throughout the evening. So the first is this evening, I think all the brands tonight are our first time, or at least on the second time with Three Drams. So I'm really excited to be able to crack open these bottles with you. I'm excited for me because it's the first time trying a couple of these myself. And that's one of the things I love about Three Drams as well. You'll have noticed I have a terrible poker face. When I stick my nose into a glass, and I absolutely love it, I cannot hide that. I think it is a fantastic opportunity to jump into the world of Irish whiskey. So tonight we're going to start with a double mention for the guys in Grace OMalley. So I am delighted to be welcoming Heather Clancy and Paul Caris from Grace OMalley Irish Whiskey. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi. How are you?
Not too bad at all, guys. And what about yourselves? Where in the world are you joining us from?
I'm calling in from Dublin.
And I'm calling from France, from Bordeaux.
Fantastic. So a very international series this evening. So Paul, why don't you tell us about your role in the company, and then Heather, why don't you give us a little rundown afterwards?
Yeah, my role in the company, I guess, is master blender. I'm in charge of all product development, but also the consistency of the brand and making sure that the recipe that we have designed are sustainable and that we are able to scale up all our range of product, and in charge also of the specification for the distillation, in charge of the maturation. So I guess a little bit of everything, in terms of production of whiskey.
I was going to say not too much then. It's only a list of about 11 things.
Yeah, but it's never, it's never enough, because at the end of the day, each details is very important in all the product that we are all making.
Absolutely. And Heather, what about yourself?
Sure, I'm the brand manager for Grace OMalley. So based in Dublin, but looking after our ever-growing expansion into now over 20 markets internationally, which has been fantastic. So over the last 2 years, it's been a pretty rapid growth, but keeps us busy.
Exactly. I would cheers to your success, but I do not have whiskey in my glass just yet.
No problem.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take Dram River 1 over here. I'm going to pour some of this into my glass. I will say to everyone who is joining us, I always suggest keep a little bit in the bottle, just so you can go back and compare later on if you don't have 3 glasses lined up beside you. But Heather, while we're starting, why don't you tell us a little bit about the brand, and I'll have this poured into my glass here now.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. So for your Irish viewers, I'm sure many have heard of Grace OMalley, or Granuela, she's known in the West. She was a famous Irish pirate queen. For those who haven't heard about her, we're delighted to introduce you to her. She was this incredible woman far ahead of her time, born on the west coast of Ireland in 1530. And she was a clan leader, a negotiator, a saleswoman, but as I mentioned, most famously probably an Irish pirate queen, sailing all around the world. She famously sailed to London in 1598 to negotiate the release of her son with Queen Elizabeth. And during that journey, it's fabled that she brought over a bottle of whiskey. So we like to say that was the first export of Irish whiskey.
Fantastic. And then in terms of the brand, I suppose, how is the brand built around the image and the memory of Granuela?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So what we're trying to do is bring the spirit of Grace OMalley into the 21st century. So we're not trying to do kind of an eye Irish whiskey by any means. We think that Grace OMalley's story really resonates in today's society and kind of pushes the boundaries. And we're trying to look at whiskey, both in terms of the liquid, what Paul is doing, bringing fantastic innovation to the category, but also in terms of the marketing, doing something a little bit different, working together with the likes of artist Katrina Rupert, installing a mural in Dublin, which represents a modern interpretation of Grace OMalley, and doing special limited edition releases with that mural image on them. And then even NFTs, which I'm just getting to grip with myself.
Fantastic. And then I suppose, Paul, how in your mind did this brand come to be in your I suppose careful hands? And I'm going to invite anyone who's a glass in front of them like me. I'm going to take a little nose and a wee sip, and then we can talk about the whiskeys afterwards as well. So I'll say planche santé.
So basically the good thing with working with this brand is that the owners of the brand really gave us a lot of freedom in terms of making the spirit itself. Basically, I had no briefing from them, which is great. And I had a total freedom to make whatever I wanted to do. So if it works, then it's a little bit because of me. And if it doesn't work, then it's my fault, 100%.
Okay, yeah. I thought we were going to blame Heather if it didn't work. So
yeah. So I think that tonight we are going to discuss more on the dark char, which is a bit of the background of the dark char. I think that this was the only product where I really had a very small and tiny briefing from Stephen Cope, which is the managing director of Grace OMalley.
Yeah.
He just wanted to have something that was really darker than usual without using, colorant or caramel or this kind of stuff. And he came to me saying, I want something that is chart. And I was, okay, but this is thank you for this briefing. And that was all. And I said, but what do you want? Yeah, well, do something that is well charred and dark color. And I said, okay, so let me think about it. We're going to see what we can do. And all the range of Grace OMalley, we started with limited edition. So even if it was made from blends, it was really except the Grace OMalley blend, but the rest of the finishes, so the Grace OMalley rum finish and the dark char were supposed to be limited edition, but as I understood, because of the success of those two products, now they are not anymore in limited editions, and we will keep making them in the future. So if you like them, that's good, because we will keep providing you some bottles of dark char and rum finish.
Always good complaint when the limited editions get too popular.
So here once again, it's a blended malt. It's a blended whiskey. And when I say blended malt, it's because there is a lot of malt in this blend. And basically, we had to really enhance the flavor of the malt in order to be able to cope with this extra maturation in virgin American oak.
Okay.
Because this blend is aged in bourbon cask, and then we are aging it in virgin American oak, and they are charred barrels. But I would say that they are charred my way, because I've done the barrels and I've done the toasting and the charring of the barrels. So
you charred them yourself?
Yeah, I toasted and charred the barrels myself. So basically, what I wanted to create is something which has some. I like the comment of Maya, because I think it's pretty right. Marissa, of Marissa, I think that's pretty right. There is a lot of vanilla, a lot of toffee, a lot of chocolate notes in this whiskey. But also, I hope that you still are able to taste a little bit the roasted, malted barley, which is also, bringing some cappuccino notes. And now maybe we can have a glass and
exactly. We'll have a little sip. So say sláinte to you both.
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
As you can see, this blend is not as smooth as you could expect from an Irish whiskey. It has a lot of grip, on the tongue. It's coming from some velvety tannins from the wood, from the American oak. So you have this sweet sensation on the tongue, which is a little bit dry, but at the same time, it's like a caressing whiskey. It's caressing your tongue.
Exactly.
And then you have this very nice length after you sip it. So it's a really intense blend, I think, not only in terms of wood, but also in terms of malt. I hope that you really like that.
Absolutely,
and now, if there is any question I can answer, I'm happy to.
So there's a lot of people in the comments already giving their thoughts on the palate and the flavor profile. So again, remember, if you are tasting along with us and you do have this pack, let us know in the comment section what you're thinking. There's a lot of people coming through with the sweetness, green apples, toffee, caramel, chocolate milkshake coming in from Joseph Green here, which I think is a fantastic tasting note.
Yep.
And for anyone who gives, I love complex tasting notes when they're a compounded tasting note, because you can pull apart chocolate milkshake or fruit salad and things like that, like very easily into it's what you're tasting in your tongue, is what your palate is remembering, and then you can pull apart those flavors, which I think is fantastic. The creaminess, the vanilla, the chocolate, all leading to that kind of that chocolate milkshake flavor. People are asking, you mentioned that it's a high malt content. People are asking, do you have a number on how much malt is in this blend?
So yeah, there is a combination of Irish whiskey is very well known for triple distilled malt.
Of course,
But
yeah.
in this blend, there is less than 10% of the total blend, which is triple distill, and there is a lot of double distill malt.
Okay.
So, but when I'm saying a lot, it's maybe probably more than 40%.
Fantastic. So, and what led you to choose that combination of double and triple distilled malts?
Well, the thing with triple distill, I really like the triple distill. Don't get me wrong. I really like triple distill malt, and I think that it's a fantastic product, especially for Irish whiskey. But here we really wanted to have the intensity of the malt combining with the intensity of the chocolate notes and all the milkshake notes. Also, I really like this comment, actually. I think that with Heather, we are going to keep this in our descriptions, in the
definitely going into the tasting notes on the product sheets, 100%.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because what I like with milkshake, just before I answer your question, what I like with milkshake is it does not have only the flavor. Milkshake has also a texture.
Yeah.
And when you have a good milkshake, it has the right texture. You can have those a bit flubby milkshake, which are not very good, but also you can have those true milkshake that has having a real nice texture. So I really like this comment. So to come back on your question, why more double distill malt? Because we really wanted the wood not to overwhelm the cereal and the distillate. We really wanted to have a balance between both of them.
Fantastic. And Heather, I'm going to pull up a picture of the bottle here.
Sure.
Grace OMalley probably famous enough for the leather bound bottles. Of course, as you see here, talk me through how that became, I suppose, the identity of some of the limited releases, and I guess now going forward with some of the special bottles, because very unique. I don't think I've seen leather bound bottles anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are, to be honest, Matt, much to everyone's sadness, but they are becoming even more limited because we've actually moved away from the leather moving forward. So if you manage to get your hands on some of those leather bottles that are still going out there, hold on to them. They're synonymous with Grace OMalley. This kind of, we were saying, you could take inspiration from the clothing that Grace OMalley wore herself. There's beautiful kind of corsesing nearly on the side of the bottle with the leather being woven together by kind of a cord. We've diverted slightly into we're coming out with a paper label, but with a beautiful wax seal on the bottle as well. So definitely still linking back to Grace OMalley's heritage and the style of the times.
Absolutely. And I'm sure whomever does your labeling is praising the heavens not to have to be so perfect with leather labels at this point.
Trust me, it's one of those things. It's quite humbling when you do it yourself. You realize no matter how beautiful it is, we keep it for our even more limited editions. Once we decided to keep the product in the main stable, we thought, okay, we might have to change this up a little.
Exactly. And I suppose there's a lot of people in the comments very much enjoying both Paul, your description of the double and triple distilled components of this blend, but also the milkshake description as well, going into the mouthfeel, which I think is fantastic. Clearly a tasting note that has struck a chord with a number of people. And I suppose going forwards is the dark char cask one of those things that we're going to see. I know you were mentioning that the rum cask dark char were limited and now kind of going forwards. Are there things we're going to see as kind of core components, Heather, or is it going to be kind of on unlimited availability?
It'll still be in smaller batch releases, but it will be a more permanent item in our stable. It's interesting though with the dark char particularly because the rum cask was kind of everybody's darling, so to speak, when we first released it, and kind of an overwhelming, everyone just loved the dark char, the rum cask. The dark char is a little bit more marmitey because again, we have that kind of slightly stronger, I suppose, mouthfeel and everything on it and finishing the flavor profile. But it's been so interesting, particularly as we've been doing, you know, speaking with different whiskey societies, and also then with the on-trade opening back up and speaking with, you know, members of the on-trade, how this has become a trade favorite, the dark char as well. People seem to love it and incorporating it even into cocktails, although I love drinking it neat myself. But yeah, it's definitely here to stay.
Oh, fantastic. I'm seeing Marissa's coming in with an umami mouthfeel, which is, I think, again, we're definitely, I think, hitting or striking gold, should I say, on the char cask on mouthfeel. Just reading through the comments, a lot of very positive tasting notes. And I suppose, Paul, going forwards for you, what, I suppose, do you envisage the brand going forwards to be? Is it a bit of exploration? Is there a flavor dynamic that you wish to continue towards, or are you still enjoying not having a brief and going forward with the creation of these whiskies?
No, but we have a few other products that we are going to release slowly but surely in the next month and years. So those projects are already going on. And but what we like, I think that our DNA is really to release new products that has nothing to do with the rest of the range. So this is once again one of our key mission is to bring and to show the diversity of Irish whiskey. Not only us, also other brands, and they have all their own expression and their own path, but and their own maturation and distillation strategy. But here, what we really want to release is something new, which is tasting very different from the rest of the range, in order also to maybe be able to please a little bit more a broader range of consumer.
Okay.
Because you can't make the product that everybody's going to love. Unfortunately. We'd love to do that, you know?
Of course.
I think that's the fantasy of every master blender in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Well, that's fantastic. And I suppose, Heather, if people want to find out more about Grace OMalley, are there any socials or websites they can check out?
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. So they can go on to www.graceomalley.com, and then our Instagram, Facebook, general social handle is @Grace OMalley Spirits. So
fantastic. And in terms of, I think you said you're in over 20 markets at the moment. If people are looking, I know Tina's going to kill me if I don't ask if it's in Germany. Are the people in the continent going to be able to find it? The people in the States going to find it? I know you have, I think, Serena Huggard, an ex-associate of mine from the Tullamore Dew days, looking after some sales over there. Where are people going to be able to find it around the world? Apart from Irish Malts, of course, they'll deliver straight to your door.
Yes, of course. The Irish Malts will get it everywhere. But if you want to walk into a store, we're actually like that. Funny that you mentioned Nuremberg. We're there ourselves tomorrow as well. So if anyone's there, come by and say hi. We're in Nuremberg tomorrow. But yeah, Germany, we've got some national distribution there. So it'll be coming into stores, even more stores shortly. We've rolled out in France. The US is a big focus for us at the moment. We're in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Florida, New Mexico diverts slightly off, and Pennsylvania and Michigan as well, to name but a few. But we are in the UK as well, and Australia, if you have anyone tuning in from there at the moment. So lots of different places. But on our website as well, we have some kind of a store locator function that everyone can use. So, and if you're not, if we're not in your home market, make sure to let us know, and we'll endeavour to be there by the end of the year.
Exactly. And don't forget, when you're going into your off licenses or liquor stores or Tranquinkles or whatever you call it, bottle shops or bottle-os around the world, and they don't have these, ask them, because they're not going to bring in things that people don't ask for, which is a very simple fact. And there's a fantastic brand ambassador I know around the world that you tell him that his brand is stocked in this bar, and the first thing he'd do in that bar is go into the bar and try to order a full bottle, because he'll know that the next, so he'll only have a gin and tonic after that. But sure, look, he knows the next time that the brand crosses that bartender's path, that people want it in front of them. So go in, ask people. If you can't get Grace OMalley for some reason in your local store in Germany, go ask them for Grace OMalley, and maybe, just maybe, when it crosses their paths, it'll be the next thing they stock. So Paul, Heather, thank you so much for your time. There were still people in the comments section dropping their tasting notes, so please do have a little look. Feel free, of course, to stay in the green room as you're going, and very much both from Ireland and in France. Thank you so much for your time tonight, guys.
Thank
I
you,
really,
Matt,
really
for
appreciate
your
it.
time. Thank you. Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
that. Bye.
So I am delighted to be moving to our second whiskey of the night. Now, I'm very excited about this beautifully packaged whiskey from the folks of Lockery Distillery. And of course, I mean, who better really at this point to tell us about Lockery Distillery than Michael Clancy, founder himself. Welcome to the show, Michael. How are you doing?
After 2 years, you'd think I would know not to have the bloody
it's
mute
the
on.
line, Michael.
Anyway,
it's the line.
Yeah,
You're on
there
mute.
we go. I'm back. So yeah, I'm good. It's good to be on finally with you, Matt. I think this is the first time we've had an online discussion about whiskey, but I'm sure it won't be the last. So
I was going to say, people outside wouldn't know this, but we are on an Irish Whiskey Association committee together, which is probably times that we would talk about whiskey, but not publicly. That's more so spreading knowledge internally in the industry rather than to consumers.
Completely, yeah, absolutely. So, no, look, it's good to be on here. So I'll give a little bit of background to the business and what we're about. And for those that don't know us, I know we have some great supporters on. Tina there from Germany, I spotted in. So Tina's always been a great fan of ours, and it's great to see her on. So, anyway, and I know Tina. There's Tina jumping in on cue. So just a little bit about us. So we're a small business, we're a family business in our hometown of Lanesborough in County Longford, right in the very centre of Ireland, in the heart of Ireland's hidden heartlands, literally at the top of Lockery on the Shannon, for anyone who knows a map of Ireland. Our game plan is, our mission is to bring to the world from our hometown the finest and most highly regarded Irish spirits. So that's simply what we want to do. And we talk about this kind of informally. We talk about this kind of Bushmills effect. So basically, people all over the world know Bushmills, and people all over the world visit the area around Bushmills, and it's a beautiful area. But they come because they bought a bottle of Bushmills somewhere. So we want to do that with the kind of Lockery area and the area around our hometown. So basically it's those two things. We're basically sending out products that we've made there across the world, and we're also then bringing people into the area. So it's we're very proud of where we come from, and the people in the area have been very supportive and very with us all the way along, and it's been great. So it's a long journey. Whiskey is a long game, but we're getting there, and we're in it for the long term. So basically we started distilling in Lanesborough in 2018, and we're still in our kind of temporary premises, but we're building a much larger whiskey distillery. Some of you guys may be familiar with our Slingshot distilled Irish gin, which is on for sale for a number of years. We've also got a zesty citrus vodka. We have Actual, which is only 100% Irish gin. And we've been in the whiskey business since, selling whiskey. We launched our first whiskey in November 2019. And I suppose at this stage, we're functioning as an independent bottler of whiskey. So we've bought stock, like a number of other people. We've bought mature stock that has been distilled in different distilleries. What we have is it's no great secret. It's what we have is Cooley, Bushmills, and we have some great Northern stock as well. And it's all, it's good stock. It's good stuff. I'm sorry we don't have lots more of it. But you'll be familiar with the challenges of sourcing whiskey, Matt. We bought what we could when we could, and we've been lucky with what we bought and how it's turned out. And we put it in some very interesting casks. Basically, and I'll just mention briefly our Bridge series. So, this is the Bridge series, and it kind of speaks to a little bit about what we're about. So basically, it's called the Bridge for two reasons. The first is the bridge in Lanesborough where we come from, which is just beside where the distillery's been built. So, and that's actually represented on the bottom of the label here. But maybe more importantly, the Bridge series is to give us a kind of a reason to talk about the fact that this whiskey is a bridge to the point where we've whiskey that we've distilled ourselves. So it's very much a statement of, we didn't distill this. We're not trying to hide that fact. We're being very open and upfront about that. And it's something that has kind of stood well for us. So we're on our 12th release of that now. Which, and we've done some very interesting things. We've brought out Oloroso finishes, PX finish called Bethlehem, which is on Irish malts currently. We have a Montbaziliac finish, which 14-year-old single malt called Rindoon, which is also on Irish malts. We've done some red wine finishes. We've done some interesting beer finishes, and some more of those to come. We've done Amontillado sherry. And we have our latest one is called El Fitbe, and it's finished in white muscatel, so it's beautiful as well. So anyway, that's the Bridge series. But this kind of leads us on to the kind of reason for bringing out the Barts blended whiskey. And when we started out, we kind of hadn't on our radar to do a blend, but we kept finding that our distillers, our Bridge series were kind of selling out on us, and we were finding ourselves at a time with no whiskey to sell and with people wanting to buy whiskey from us. And also then, as we grow our business internationally and we're talking to international distributors, they're looking for pallets of whiskey. And the Bridge series being single cask limited releases, there's only maybe somewhere between 300 and 700 bottles per release. So that's not really something you can open a market with. So that led us to the challenge of, right, we'll bring out a blended whiskey. I'm going to just mention as well, we will have a couple of interesting pieces of news, exciting pieces of news coming up in the next while. So kind of watch out on our socials for that. And I won't.
Michael, feel free to give us an exclusive. Don't worry, we won't tell.
No, I'll I won't take it all up. But no, I'll just throw that out there. So keep an eye on us. At Lockery Distill is our Twitter and Instagram, and we're Lockery Distillery on Facebook. So just then I'll move on to the Barts whiskey and just give you a little bit of the background to the branding and the name behind it. So
I'm going to pull up a picture of it here as we talk as well.
Yeah, perfect, yeah. So Bart was my late father, and Peter and Sheila and myself are 3 out of 6 siblings who were involved in the business. And Bart was our dad. He passed away almost 12 years ago. And this kind of is our way of sort of bringing him along on the journey. Everyone else in the family has been dragged in at some shape or form into the business. So this is our way of bringing him along. And he was very technical. He was into repairing clocks, and he was into not just the mechanism, but the wood and everything as well, and restoring antiques. So basically, he'd have loved he was a metalwork teacher by training, and he'd have loved the copper of the stills and the pipe work and all that sort of stuff. He would have just absolutely been mad into it. So this is our kind of way of keeping him in as we go along. And it's kind of something we struggle with a little bit as well. Do you put your dad's name on a bottle? It has to be bloody good if you're going to do that. So that's we labored over that for a while, but we got to the point where we did. So with this, we set out as well to kind of, and we've done this with other spirits as well. We set out to do something that kind of adds to the category. So for me, this was something that had to be good to drink on its own, but also that worked as a mixed drink or in a cocktail. So just to mention as well, this is all sourced liquid. It's sourced from Great Northern Distillery. Little bit of trivia, I worked there about 20 years ago when it was the Harp Brewery, so I've kind of know the site. There's still some people up there who worked there when I was on site there back in
fantastic
back almost at the turn of the century. So we'll move on.
Well, we taste of it as you give us a tour of it.
Yeah.
As well.
So we'll have a sniff first because it's open. So just I'll have a sniff of it there, and I see some notes coming in on it. So basically with this, and just the background to the liquid, we and for those of you who have a bottle, we've been very upfront on the transparencies, because we've put the full breakdown of the blend on the back of the bottle. And And this kind of speaks to the clockwork branding, so, and it's a good kind of metaphor for a blend. So every component of a blend, even no matter how small it is, like the cogs in a clock, they all have to work together and be in the right place. Otherwise the whole thing doesn't work. So we've got the breakdown of the blend on the back of the label here. So it's it's there's a large amount of grain in there for a blend, or a normal amount of grain in there for a blend. But we've a decent amount of pot still in there. So we've 11% pot still whiskey in there. And we wanted that for texture, for that kind of oiliness and pot still creaminess and spice that you get. Then we have rye cask whiskey, rye cask finished malt in there. And again, that's for that rye spice, which we really like, and we really like rye whiskey. So then to kind of pull that back a little and add fruitiness, we have Oloroso cask finished malt, and then we've got our peated malt in there, 2% triple distilled peated malt in there to give it a wisp of peatiness and smoke. And if you've ever been to Lanesborough, anyone who's ever been to Lanesborough will know, no matter what way you come to Lanesborough, you're coming through the bog. So peat is something that's very much of the area, but it's obviously, this is Great Northern Distillery. It's not peat from the area, but it's something that kind of represents the area. So just to talk then about the nose of this, I'm interested in what other people, I'm always very interested in what other people say, but I'm just going to throw a few things out there. For me, on the nose, and somebody came up when we were tasting it, somebody came up with this toasted marshmallows, and that jumps out at me all the time. I can't forget that now. I get a kind of a marmalade nose on it as well, and I get that kind of rye spiciness there as well, and there's kind of cinnamon and stuff in there as well. So that's on the nose. What's your own view on it, Matt?
Well, you see, the funny thing about marshmallows is a fantastic kind of creamy vanilla tasting note. We said in the last whiskey, you can unpack complex tasting notes, but this isn't marshmallows. This is exactly what you said. It's toasted marshmallows.
Yeah.
But it's not burnt sugar or burnt vanilla or caramel, which is, I guess, burnt vanilla. This is specifically toasted marshmallows. Like it's such an on the nose tasting note. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's layered. There's a lot going on in the nose, and there's an initial sweetness, but there's so much warmth and different kind of undertones of spices as well underneath it, which I think is it makes for a very, very enjoyable nose. There's no harshness, there's no astringency. Yep. There's the 46%, a lovely ABV.
Yeah,
and I think, as we see in the comment section right now, there's a lot of people very, very much enjoying the flavor profile. So have a little taste of it, shall we?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I'm just seeing the comments. I wasn't looking at the comments there for now.
I see you, Dermot. I see you.
Yeah. Now, so with this, on the palate, there's that kind of, for me, there's that kind of texture, that creaminess and oiliness that you get from pot still is in there. There's the spices coming through from the rye. There's also kind of a fruit crumble coming through for me. So it's like you make a fruit crumble, you throw in a bit of raspberries, maybe a bit of rhubarb, whatever is there, and it's not kind of one specific, but it's that kind of red summer fruits. There's kind of a bit of cloves in there. There's kind of creme brulee coming through as well. So there's a lot going on in here. But it's very smooth, very drinkable. Like lots of people that are local people to us would have bought bottles of this at Christmas and kind of said to me after Christmas, I had to go back and buy another bottle because they were getting through it, and they wouldn't be used to drinking 46% whiskey, but they were able to they were brought back into it. So yeah. And then with the finish on this, so you have this long spicy finish. That oil is there, and it's kind of mouth coatingly finish. It's still there, and then you have these kind of wisps of smoke there. So there's a lot going on in this. It's trying to see what other people are coming through on it there, saying.
There's was it great on the palate, goes down very well. A lot of spice. Now seeing sweet but also spicy, a great combination. Subtle peatiness going down well. A lot of marshmallow. I'm seeing a lot of kind of apple pie, which is that kind of sugared pastry note. The apple as well coming in with the warm fruit. So very much in that kind of that fruit tart area that you were talking about as well. If people are in the world, we're apart, of course, from Irish malts, we'll deliver direct to your door where it is legal to do so. Looking at you, the United States, some really weird places that you're not allowed to ship to in the United States, but everywhere else we get straight to your door. But for people around the world, where would people be able to find Bart's Irish whiskey?
Okay, so currently we are in Germany, so we're with Marika with Irish Whiskies .de. Germany. We are currently also on a Belgian site called We Are Whiskey, which is actually quite a good. They have a big range of whiskey there, worth looking up. So we have distribution in Belgium, good distribution. We're in kind of we're in the Comptoir de Vin shops in Belgium. We're in a number of kind of good independent spirits shops in Belgium around the kind of Brussels, Louvain sort of direction. We've good distribution there, and then we're in the kind of Marika's channels in Germany as well. So we're building up other channels as well. We have a number of places in the pipeline and stuff almost ready to go out. So look out for more news on that front as well as we come along. So
Exactly.
yeah. So just what was I going to say? Yeah, I just wanted to mention a little point about the color on this as well. So some people have kind of remarked that it's kind of slightly light in color, and this isn't like all of the whiskies we produce. This is non-chill filtered, and there's no added color. But with the color, we kind of purposely went the particular direction with the blend, and it was flavor and texture driven, not color driven, and that was kind of a purposeful decision. So it's we're okay with that, you know what I mean. It's some people have remarked on it, but it's just to mention that. I see Sean English there saying who's Bart. So Bart was my dad. So
you gotta listen back, Sean. Michael gave the whole spiel. A more compelling reason to watch.
What I would suggest, Sean, that you do is you buy a bottle, and you'll see there's the story is on the back of the label. And I'm just going to draw attention to that as well, the beautiful label. So to credit our designers in Dublin, a company called Slater Design, I've done a really fantastic job on this, and Label Tech in Dublin printed as well for us. So a couple of other things in the packaging while I'm on, and just to mention it, and again, so we were the first Irish whiskey to have this new e-label QR code on it. So I'm just going to try a little experiment here. Tina has seen me do this before so it does work over the internet. So basically, you can see this QR code if I can get it in the right place. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. So some of you should be able to scan this with your phones, and you should be able to get onto the U-Label website, and you'll see there we go. Perfect.
I was on top of it. Top of it.
Brilliant. So we've got that up there. So that basically gives the kind of energy, nutritional information, ingredients, sustainability. So we'll have our Origin Green. We've just been awarded our Origin Green verification this week as well. So that'll be up there as well shortly. A couple of other things about the packaging. So I mentioned about the breakdown of the blend in the back as well. So it's kind of, we like to think it's class leading in terms of transparency, and that's what we're about. So there's nothing to hide, and why not put it up there? The other thing about it, this bottle. So this bottle is one of the lightest bottles that Irish whiskey is in on the market, or any whiskey on the market. So it's 440 grams. The bottle, it's 30 to 50% lighter than a lot of other kind of peers on the market, and that's a purposeful decision. It's about carbon footprint, and it's about kind of doing the right thing from a sustainability point of view. So we're hopeful that others will follow us in that regard. But again, we're trying to do the right thing, trying to do our best with this. So that's just about the bottle. And then just, I suppose, the last thing I'll kind of talk about on my radar, and I'll answer questions if anyone has for me, is kind of how do you drink it. So basically what I would say is however the hell you want. And so we set out with this was that it's something that's good to sip, and lots of people do, but it's also something that makes a good mixed drink or cocktail. So I'd invite anyone to try it in a highball. It actually makes a really good hot whiskey, because you've got that kind of the peat and the kind of spiciness come through on the nose when you make a hot whiskey with it, or when you make an Irish coffee with it. It really adds to those. So so it's a good all-rounder, and there's lots of it there. So what I would say is, we don't care how you drink it, just drink plenty of it.
Exactly. And Michael, if people want to find you online again,
so it's at Lockery Distillery.
Fantastic. And that's your Twitter and your Instagram and your Facebook.
Yeah.
Lockery Distillery, is that correct?
So Facebook is Lockery Distillery, yeah.
And same for the website.
The website is lrd.ie or lockerydistillery.com.
Fantastic. And do you want to give us one more look at that QR code just before we go?
Yes,
just
absolutely,
if anyone didn't get a chance to be able to, it's reversed. I know it's if you give us a little spin there and lift it up a little bit, just there you go. So if anyone wants to be able to scan it there and get more information, absolutely fantastic. Michael Clancy, thank you so much for your time this evening. I appreciate you bringing us through this fantastic whiskey, giving us all the information. Of course, guys, if you are watching along and you have subscribed to 3 Drams, the discount code will be going direct to your inbox as soon as the show ends. If you would like to purchase 1, 2, or all 3 of these whiskeys, you can get a bonus discount, I believe, straight to your door. Again, US states, I'm looking at you. Some places are weird, but regardless of you guys, the rest of the world, it gets delivered straight to your door. So do make sure to wait and pick up that lovely discount, because why wouldn't you want a bottle of Bart's direct to your door? So, Michael, thank you so much for your time. I very much appreciate it when we can hop on to Dram number 3.
Thanks, Matt. Sláinte.
Sláinte, thanks so much. So I am delighted to be moving on to Dram number 3, Limavady Irish Whiskey. We were to be joined by Mr. Darryl McNally, but sure, we could have Darryl any day of the week. But tonight we're going to have Martin McNally, a man who not only shares his last name, but also a part of his profession, a part of the brand. And I am delighted to welcome him to his first time on the show. Martin McNally, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. Hey, everyone.
I'm delighted to have you here. So I suppose for everyone in the world who may know Darryl, may know Limavady, and there's a lot of people that will not know the brand just yet. I suppose the question is, who is Martin McNally and who are Limavady Irish Whiskey?
Well, I'm Darryl's younger brother. I sort of work behind the scenes with Darryl here. Grew up under Darryl's wing at Bush Mills. Then followed Darryl into Limavady. So here I am. This is my first solo appearance in front of everybody here on the show. So I hope you like me.
So Darryl gave me a heads up because he does apologize for not being here. He's currently in the skies over the United States, doing God's work, spreading the good word of Irish whiskey across the US of A. This is, as you said, your first solo appearance on a live stream for Limavady. So comment section, get welcoming Martin, where we do as true Irish whiskey fans around the world. There you go. You see, you're well prepared. You have 4 bottles with you. You have the branded shirt. You couldn't be doing much better at this point. But welcome to the show. For the people that don't know Limavady Irish whiskey, why don't you give us a little breakdown? And what I'm going to do in the background is I'm going to take out Dram River Tree right here, number 3. I am going to break the seal. I'm going to pour it into my glass, and I'm going to have a little nose while you tell us about the brand, and then maybe you can tell us about the whiskey we have in the glass. And I'm already seeing the people welcoming you to the show. Happy to meet you.
Thanks, so Limavady, the brand, is an old brand, dates back to 1750. This is a bottle here. I don't know if anybody's seen it before, but it's a brand that's very close to myself and Darryl's heart. We're also been distillers I've been a distiller for 10 years. Darryl's been in the game for about 23 years. So doing it on our own, Darryl wanted to release something on his own. So long ago, we heard that our family owned Limavady Distillery back in 1880. So this was like a thing that was like a calling to Darryl that he had to go and bring out this brand. This brand meant a lot. So obviously Darryl wanted me to come along with him. So this is the Fritz of Darryl's Reagan at the moment. So this is his brainchild, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, perfect. I'm loving seeing we're having messaging from Gordon saying that he was seeing someone drinking the Limavady in Texas there yesterday afternoon. So clearly, Darryl getting whiskey into the hands of consumers around the world. So it's I suppose neither yourself nor Darryl new to the whiskey game, but Limavady new to the world. I pulled a picture of the bottle there, but can you talk us through some of the aspects of the bottle itself, because it's a unique design.
It's very unique. You can see the way the bottle is shaped. The bottle is shaped on a design a picture that a historian found of the bottle, and we wanted to recreate what the bottle looked like back from the 1800s. So this picture is dating back from then. So we wanted to recreate the bulb at the top. So the bulb is like where they used to hand blow the glass, and then whenever they cut the top of the glass, or the glass blower cut the top of the glass, left like a bulge. So we wanted to keep that all the same way Limavady was. The topography on the sides all the same. If anybody is lucky enough to hold the bottle, they can see there's bubble print through the glass, which is really unperfect glass. So we wanted to keep all that authentic and keep it to the true Limavady style.
Fantastic. So why don't I've got the glass here. I've stuck my nose into this. I said earlier, it's my first time tasting Limavady whiskey. I love trying whiskeys for the first time in the show because I get to have that unscripted, terrible poker face moment of sticking my nose in. I'm already loving the nose on this. So talk us through the makeup of malt. Is it a blend? Is it a grain? What are the casks? What can we expect? Because I'm seeing a lot of comments already about the nose, and I'm loving it myself.
Well, it's 100% malt. Darryl is a malt purist, so he worked in Bushnells and Liberty, so they're all malt stories. He's just malt through and through. So we wanted to bring out 100% malt. It's finished in first fill bourbon casks, and then aged in first fill bourbon casks, and then we finish in the Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. So you get the vanilla, the spiciness of the bourbon, then you get the dried fruits, the dark chocolate, the sweetness of the PX coming through, which is brilliant.
Fantastic. And bottled at 46.
46, yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people talking about the nose here. Immediately, if the guys down in the team know what they like. A fantastic fan of PX sherry. I too am a fan of PX casks. The PX is funny. With casks of PX, you can get very old and tired, and you can get that kind of musty dryness. This is tart. It's bright. It's very expressive. I'm loving the burst of that it's past sweet. It's past dessert. It is that kind of tart, lovely, little bit of treacly bit in the background, probably from the bourbon, but it's a very expressive nose. I haven't tasted it yet, but perhaps a moment to say sláinte, and we can have a little sip together.
We sourced the sherry cask from Antonio Páez Labata in southern Spain. So Darryl has a long-lasting relationship with them from like 20 odd years ago, and they're seasoned for like 2 years. So the creme de la creme of sherry cask whenever you're buying from them guys.
Yeah, and if anyone doesn't know Antonio Páez Labata, a fantastic family company who make probably, as you said, some of the most spectacular sherry casks in Spain. they're both a cooperage and I suppose and a bodega to their own right, making sherry, their own casks. You talk about a family enterprise like yourselves with Limavady. They're
Exactly.
Isaac, one of the sons in the business, who's very much a man of passion of sherry. Is a very 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 passionate man about sherry, which is great to see these days, because I think his products stand true, and I think you can see it in these as well. Absolutely fantastic. I'm seeing a lovely amount of comments coming in here. Cherries and almonds, a fab nose of sherry and apples, butterscotch angel delight on the nose, salted caramel, fruitcake, warm spices with a complex finish. Just simply wow, beautiful. I mean,
wow, that's a good one. Yeah, thanks, John.
That's a good one. I suppose for the people that don't know, you know, how do you prefer to drink your Limavady? Is this going to be the whiskey forever going forwards, or is this a single cask exclusive? Is this a limited edition? What's the I suppose the arc of Limavady going to be?
Well, our Limavady is we are a single barrel product. We're probably one of the first single barrel releases and Irish releases to do it as their core product. So if anybody ever sees the bottle, there'll be a barrel number on it and a bottle number on it. So each barrel represents a PX barrel we put in. So there's like 846 bottles per barrel. So each bottle is unique. So each barrel is unique. So you'll get your subtle differences. So you'll have like a barrel 46 versus a barrel 47. There'll be subtle differences. You'll still get the Limavady, the PX, the bourbon, but there might be a subtle difference that's a lot of the strong whiskey drinkers will pick out. We wanted to hit that as a lot of the whiskey guys out there will appreciate things like that. Again, it's unique. Once that bottle's gone, it's gone. That label will go on to the next and the next and the next and so on.
I'm seeing a lot of comments in here. I know that there's plans in the works for a Limavady distillery, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But at the moment, is there in the pipeline? Is it in planning? What kind of stage are we at?
It's with planning at the moment, so it's with planning for quite a while now. So we're trying to keep that push. At the minute, hopefully, we're praying, hoping and praying we'll have a home for Limavady this year, hoping to break ground. Fingers crossed.
Fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of comments, old Madeira and port, akin to those kind of flavors. Neil in Germany saying the single barrel concept is interesting. Fantastic to see that going forwards. How is Darryl doing, I suppose, in the States, launching this concept and bringing Limavady, and how are the world globally in the non-Hiberno English market you dealing with the name of Limavady? Or is it going down easy, or is it
not very easy for the Americans out there? Out in America, they've got T-shirts printed with the syllables Limavady. So it makes, I've been talking to the guys at Whistlepig and stuff who sort of are a partner company. It's very difficult for them to pronounce. Darryl is doing brilliant, going out there and support and showing what the brand's about. And we're in 10 states at the moment, planning to do probably 5 in July and probably 20 by the end of the year, 25 by the end of the year. We plan to be national probably by mid to end of next year. And again, it's all down to him and it's his name and it's his baby, really, you know.
And we're I presume, is Darryl living over there at the moment, or is he just on perpetual business trips? Oh, fantastic! He's doing a large amount of work, going to and from. Fantastic. And you said that it's kind of a partner company with Whistlepig in Vermont. That's correct.
Right, yeah. Whistlepig and Darryl had a conversation a few years ago, and Whistlepig just decided they wanted to partner up with Limavady. So here we are. We can with our great company to be with. They sort out distribution in America and all, so we can we can concentrate on making sure the product's right to go out there to them, and then they can obviously they have the contacts to know how to put it in different states.
Exactly. Well, if anyone doesn't know Whistlepig, a fantastic, I suppose, American company up in Vermont making incredibly interesting whiskeys. There's a number of questions coming in that I do want to address before we go. But look at this, Mr. Darryl McNally in the comment section saying hello. So leaving you to the wolves, Marty. Mr. Flying across the United States, but internet enough to say hello in the comment section. Oh yeah.
It must be business class. Is that free Wi-Fi?
Oh, exactly. This the thing is, I want to see a 3 Drams with somebody on an airplane. Now, that's what I want to see. Sitting in their seats whispering. But fantastic. Tina in Germany is hoping to see Limavady at Whiskey Live in Dublin. I presume we'll be seeing an excursion from the McNally brothers.
Yeah, we'll be there. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Darryl jumping back in saying no better man to look after Limavady. Well, I mean, he's your blood. I think you have to say that anyway. But no, doing a fantastic job. A lot of people. First of all, Dermot singing your praises. But also Mike D coming in and saying that Whistlepig is good. I do agree. As Merce said, love Whistlepig. I am also a very big fan of Whistlepig as well. There was a question on pricing for Limavady in Ireland, because of course we'll be able to find it on 3 Drams. We're going to be finding yourselves at Whiskey Live, of course, Grace OMalley, and of course Lockery there as well. But if people want to pick it up, do you have a guide on pricing that people might be able to shoot for?
In Northern Ireland here, it's around 45 pounds sterling. On Irish malts, I'm not sure, it's around probably 50-55 euro, something around that.
Yeah,
there.
So usually the conversion, right? Yeah.
But
of course, remember, if you are joining us as a subscriber of 3 Drams and you have the little pack for this month's session, you're going to get it. Well, I was going to say you're going to get a discount. I'm spending too long talking. So about 5 minutes ago, you got a discount straight to your inbox. Go buy all these whiskeys, get them to your house, because I don't think there's anybody that hasn't tasted any of these whiskeys this evening and isn't loving them. For anybody that's out there that you want to give the kind of 3 main points, or the 1 main point that you'd love to leave people with about Limavady, I suppose, what is it? Give us the elevator pitch, the 30-second spiel. Hit us with it, Marty.
It's family. That's what it's all about for us, Darryl. It's a family brand. It's local. Limavady's a town. This is just like it means so much to us to have people taste it and have people enjoy it. We want people to enjoy it more than anything, you know. That would be it. Hope everybody enjoys it.
Fantastic. Remember to let us know in the comment section what are your favorite whiskey this evening in ranked order, because they're never consistent. It's always to your personal palate. And remember to get an eye on your email inbox to get those whiskeys to your door. And if you don't have a discount code, what are you doing? Get on the 3 Dram subscription. If you don't have a discount code, you need to pick up your bottles. We've had 3 fantastic bottles from Grace OMalley, we have from Lockery, and we've now had Limavady. This is an absolutely fantastic night with people all over the world. Nearly 2,000 people joined it, and you don't have a box at home. What are you doing? I don't know. Marty, while people are letting us know in the comment section what their favorites are this evening, where might people be able to find out more information about you online? Is there a website or social media pages?
I don't want to steal Michael's thing, but we have a QR code in the back of the bottle, so if we want to hold it up and let people scan.
That's fine. You hold it there. We'll do the exact same spiel right here now. Perfect. We'll be able to grab that. And straight to the phone there. Perfect. Yeah.
If nobody gets it, it's limavady.com.
Fantastic. And that's what we want to hear. So guys, let us know in the comment section if you do have any questions for anyone who's presented this evening, who are in the green room. And of course, anyone who has presented, feel free to hang on in the green room, because the people don't get to see this, but we get to have a little chin wag afterwards, because Irish whiskey is all about what I call co-opetition. It's a stupid buzzword, but I love that we're all big friends in the Irish whiskey industry. But the everyone letting us know in the comment section what your favorites are, and as always, there's no outright winner, and that's what I love about it, because as Dermot says, there are no duds tonight. Are there ever? Not at all. So thank you all to watching. Marty, Heather, Paul, Michael, thank you so much. And of course, as always, to the guys behind Irish Malts and 3 Drams, a very big thank you. And we'll see you next month for episode 18. Thanks so much.
Cheers, everyone.